This line is now on hold. This line is now off hold.
Mataji, he is saying he is on the call, but we can't. Prabhuji, we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, Prabhuji.
I think Prabhuji is on mute, Mataji. There is one number I see that look like that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The recording has started.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call and giving your association on this conference call, Prabhuji. You can please take over, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So my humble obeisances to all the devotees on this Bhakti Sangha Japa group, and my humble obeisances to my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. And prayers before we start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashulakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruhu Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. It's my great fortune to be a part of this group today and getting an opportunity to discuss the Srimad Bhagavatham. Today we are reading from the 4th canto, chapter and verse number 9. 4, 12, 9. Tasya pritena manasa kam datvaidā vidasatah Pashyato antaradadhe sopi swapuram pratyapadyata. Translation. The son of Idavida, Lord Kuver, was very pleased and happily he gave Dhruva Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter he disappeared from Dhruva's presence and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city. Purport. Kuvera, who is known as the son of Idavida, was very pleased with Dhruva Maharaj because he did not ask him for anything materially enjoyable. Kuvera is one of the demigods. So one may put forward the argument Why did Dhruva Maharaj take a benediction from a demigod? The answer is that for a Vaishnava, there is no objection to taking a benediction from a demigod if it is favorable for advancing Krishna function. The gopis, for example, worshipped Katyayani, a demigoddess, but the only benediction they wanted from the goddess was to have Krishna as their husband. A Vaishnava is not interested in asking any benediction from the demigods, nor is he interested in asking benedictions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said in the Bhagavatam that liberation can be offered by the Supreme Person. But even if a pure devotee is offered liberation by the Supreme Lord, he refuses to accept it. Dhruva Maharaj did not ask Kuber for transference to the spiritual world for liberation. He simply asked that wherever he would remain, whether in the spiritual or material world, he would always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A Vaishnava is always respectful to everyone. So when Kuber offered him a benediction, he did not refuse it. But he wanted something which would be favorable to his advancement in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Satya Pritena Manasa Tam Tasvai Idamastata Pashyato Antar Dadhe Soapi Swapuram Satya Satyata. Translation once again. The son of Iravida, Lord Kuber, was very pleased and happily he gave Dhruva Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter he disappeared from Dhruva's presence and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city. So we are very fortunate discussing the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj and especially a lost son returning back to his parents, to his capital city, is being discussed in this particular verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. There is the reunion. The parents of Dhruva Maharaj, Maharaj Uttanpa, and the two mothers, Suniti, Surichi, as we have heard over the past few weeks, are very, very disturbed at having lost their son due to a certain discontent in the family. And Dhruva Maharaj took it very seriously, the small insult rendered by his stepmother, and because of which Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest and worshipped the Supreme Lord and then attained the kingdom. The kingdom was attained, and much after that, Dhruva Maharaj ruled that kingdom for 36,000 years. And then, as we know, while he was serving in that capacity as the king, on an occasion, his younger brother ventured into area where the Yakshas resided, Alkapuri, and unfortunately they mercilessly killed his brother Uttam. And then Uttam, who was very dear to Dhruva Maharaj, being killed by the Yakshas, Dhruva Maharaj felt very, very angered. And therefore, he, with all his might, with all his strength, showered all the weapons possible upon the Yakshas. And the battle was so ruthless that the Lord of Yakshas, Maharaj Kuber, himself had to appear and had to plead to Dhruva to stop the war. Of course, Dhruva Maharaj obeyed the request made by a senior like Kuber, and having subsided his anger, Kuber was very pleased and he offered gifts of benediction to Dhruva Maharaj. And in the last verse, in the 8th verse, we heard of how Dhruva Maharaj asked for a certain benediction. Yesterday's word said, "My dear Vidu, when thus asked to accept a benediction from Kuber, the Yaksharaj. Guru Maharaj, that most elevated Lord devotee, who was an intelligent and thoughtful king, begged that he might have absolute faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, a person can cross over the ocean of desires very easily, although it is very difficult for others to cross. So, this was the benediction that Guru Maharaj asked for. Kubera is known to be the treasurer of the demigods. And as such, there are pastimes concerning Kubera, which we come to know from the Puranic literature of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We hear of this personality called as Kubera, and we hear that how Kubera was once debarred from his own capital called as Lankapuri by his half brother Ravan, and Kubera was rendered homeless by his very own cousin Ravan. And another pastime we hear of Kubera and his sons, the two Kuber Putras, Nal Kuber and Manigri, and how they were cursed by Narad Muni while they were bathing and sporting with Apsaras themselves naked in the pond, and because of which Narad Muni had to curse them. Later on, they became the two trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, and they were delivered by Lord Rama. Lord Kubera especially is known as a Lokpal. Lokpal means the protector of the world. He is very resourceful. He has a lot of power. He is the head of the Yaksha community. And therefore, when the Guru Maharaj actually attacked Yaksha Puri, Alpapuri, then Kubera was very disturbed with his useless feeling. So here, when Kubera appeared on the scene, he asked Guru Maharaj what kind of benediction Guru wanted. And Guru Maharaj is regarded as an intelligent and thoughtful king. So he said that he wanted to have unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this today's verse, we read about Kubera becoming very, very pleased with the Guru's request and awarding him the benediction that he wanted. Now, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear of so many names of demigods, and we hear of their position, we hear of their powers, we hear of what all material gifts can they want. Like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, verses 2 to 7. A very big verse, a combination of 6 verses. It says that if one wants to become a master of the Vedas, then we should worship Brihaspati. If one wants to become very powerful heavenly king, who wants to have a powerful best life, then we should worship Indra. If one wants to have good progeny, then we should worship the Prajapati. If one wants to have good material fortune, then Durga Devi, the supreme maintained of the material world, should be worshipped. If one wants to become very, very powerful, then he should worship Agni, fire. And one who aspires only after money should worship the Vasu. Like that, if one wants to have a large stock of grain, he should worship Aditi. And one who desires to attain the heavenly planet should worship the sons of Aditi, the Adityas, or the demigods. And like that, one who wants a long time of life should worship the Ashwini Kumar. One who wants to be very popular within the general mass of population should worship the Sattva demigod. One who desires to be very beautiful should worship the beautiful residents of the Gandharva planet. And one who desires a good wife should worship the Apsaras and Urvashis, the psychic girls of the heavenly kingdom. And like that, one who desires tangible fame should worship the personality of Godhead, and one who desires a good bank balance is important. One who desires a good bank balance should worship the demigod Varuna. One who wants to be very greatly learned man, he should worship Lord Shiva. And if one wants to have good marital relation, he should worship the gift goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. So our Srimad Bhagavatam tells us how to become even successful in the material world. And of course, it tells us the ultimate objective of our existence in the material world, that is to attain the spiritual world. So the Srimad Bhagavatam tells us of the roles and the powers of these different demigods. For conferring different gifts upon the human society, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I have nominated the demigods so that they can award different fruitive results. Lord Krishna has mentioned this very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita also, that those people who desire success and fruitive activity should worship the demigods. Of course, these results are awarded by the demigods, but behind the demigods is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom all these different awards are coming. The problem in demigod worship is that because the awards come from the demigods, these awards award us only temporary shelter. And when the awards come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the result is two-way. It acts like a two-way razor. On one hand, it extinguishes the material desire that a devotee may have, and on the other hand, it increases the spiritual desire that a devotee may not have. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very beautifully says that what is the position of the devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ama bhage Vishay mange, ei bada murkh. The devotee who comes to me, prays to me, but in the end asks for material benediction, oh, what a fool he is. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, ei murkh ami vidya Vishay kena diva. But although he may be insane, he may be foolish, but I am not so. I am intelligent. Why should I give him the material object? Vishay kena diva. Then what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He says, Charana Mrita Vishay Bhulaiva. I give him my own Charana Mrita and make him forget the desire for material objects altogether. So the fasting of Dhruv Maharaj teaches this kind of contrast very much in the life of Dhruv Maharaj. At first, he was desiring a kingdom bigger than Brahma. But as he grew in his Krishna consciousness, towards the end, what is he desiring for? He is desiring only and only for remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's a paradigm shift in the thought, in the consciousness of Dhruv Maharaj. And Kubera was very, very pleased with it. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami has explained to us, like Srila Prabhupada also says in this purport, that devotees sometimes worship Katyayani Devi. Katyayani Devi is another form of Durga Devi, and the gopis actually worship Katyayani Devi in the month of November, that is the month after Kartik, which is a freezing cold month in the region of Vrindavan. So the gopis worshipped Katyayani Devi for what? For attaining Krishna as their husband. Now one may question, they could have directly asked Krishna for this food. But the gopis actually worship Katyayani Devi to get this food, because it is a tradition in India that women worship Shiva and Uma. Shiva and Parvati are worshipped especially for getting a good marital partner, a good marriage partner. So they worship Chaitanya Devi with that desire. And the vrat they had taken, the vow they had taken was also very austere. It required them to stay in the hot, in the cold, chilling water of Yamuna throughout the day, standing neck deep into the cold water of Yamuna and chanting some mantras, which actually meant that they wanted to have Krishna as their husband. So Prabhupada many times quotes this example whenever the topic of demigod worship comes. He says that this kind of demigod worship is appropriate, if at all. If at all, the devotee desires to have Krishna as his license. At other places, like in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami has mentioned a line which suggests that the devotees of Krishna may sometimes worship Ganesha for helping or help in overcoming the obstacles on their path of Krishna consciousness. So in a sense, we see that in India and in all kind of Vedic sacrifices, Bhagavan, Lord Ganesha is one of the most worshipped demigods. Because till the time Ganesha doesn't happen, no other auspicious work can be done. Because Ganesha is considered as Vignahata, as the remover of all obstacles, therefore people of the Kali Yuga are very much keen in big numbers to follow Ganesha, because Kali Yuga is the age of obstacles. However, Srila Prabhupada at different occasions, when he was asked, gave different replies to this worship of Ganesha. On most occasions, however, he said that if you are worshipping Krishna, it is absolutely not needed. The Ganesh Puja may not be performed, or as far as only some impediments have to be removed on the path of Krishna consciousness, then one may sometimes consider worshipping Ganesha. Otherwise, on most occasions, Prabhupada said that it is not necessary. However, Rupa Goswami writes about it. So the point is what? The point is that whether we worship or we don't worship a demigod, the purpose is to advance in Krishna consciousness. As long as we are sufficiently ensuring that we are doing it, then we can chalk out our own path of progress. But the goal has to be very, very crystal clear that we need to advance in Krishna consciousness. Now, Guru Maharaj realized it. At first, he wanted the kingdom, but now he realized it, and therefore, Kubera, who can give him material benedictions, who can award him whole treasury? Guru Maharaj did not ask anything material from Kubera. Rather, he asked him only for the remembrance of Lord Krishna. And what was Kubera's response to this? He was very pleased. The translation says, Lord Kubera was very pleased. Tasya Pritena. Pritena means being very pleased. Now the demigod Kubera is very pleased when the devotee comes to him to ask Krishna consciousness. Sometimes it is portrayed in the Srimad Bhagavatham that Indra is very disturbed because he is not being worshipped by the Brajvasi, and because of which he causes torrents of rain into the whole of Vrindavan and wants to destroy the whole of Vrindavan, submerge it. We see sometimes such episodes. At other times also, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the demigods appear to be sometimes illusioned in thinking that they are the supreme substantive Godhead. So what is the case with this? The point, however, is that the demigods are greatly advanced Vaishnavas and followers of the Vedic Dharma, and albeit being so, they sometimes slip from the consciousness and they happen to commit some such blunders in their thoughts, in their speech, or in their actions. Otherwise, on most occasions, the demigods are properly situated in their worship to the Supreme Personality Godhead. A demigod like Indra rules for thousands of years compared to human beings. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear only a few episodes of his misconduct, which can be counted on fingers practically. In such a long span of ruling, thousands and thousands of years, there are few episodes which are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam describing his misconduct. It serves the two purposes. First purpose is that even a person on such an elevated stage like the demigod can commit mistakes if he is not very careful. Srila Prabhupada, to make this point, says that accidents happen on the most royal roads also. So like that, even though some may be in Krishna consciousness for many, many years, still they also can commit mistakes. So the demigods are portrayed as an example to confirm this point. When we read about the demigods falling down or committing mistakes, we generally read it with delight. We don't generally have any envy towards Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Soma. We generally read the pastime. It gives us good subject to contemplate, maybe to give a class, and that's where our relation with the demigods is over. But in our personal life, in our own temple life, in our own devotional life, when some devotee who is just a couple of years ahead of us in Krishna consciousness, of course we cannot gauge anyone's Krishna consciousness, but say that he has come into Krishna consciousness a couple of years before, and if he commits a mistake lesser than what Indra, Chandra, Varuna, or Soma commit, then for us it's a big disaster. For us it's end of the relationship for life. Many times such kind of experiences are there in the hearts of devotees, and sometimes such experiences put them out of Krishna consciousness. So we are okay with Indra committing a bigger mistake of either having intercourse with Gautama Muni's wife or creating a tsunami for the Vrajvasis. We are okay with that. But a devotee who is a little senior to us, if he just does not keep a prasadam plate for us, or he just does not ask for our health when we are sick, then we become very disturbed with these things. So the first purpose in portraying these pastimes is to make us understand that the demigods also, on their level of consciousness, also can commit some mistakes, or to speak of common people like us. And on the second hand, the another purpose that is served with such pastimes is that the demigods are really very great people, very great personalities who are rendering very, very valuable services for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They cannot be derided, they need to be respected, but at the same time, a devotee has to know what is their position. Even they can commit mistakes. So it gives us inspiration to forgive the fellow devotees around us. It gives us inspiration to accommodate the people around us and to be able to extend compassion to each and every one. It teaches us lessons, important lessons to be adopted in our life while practicing Krishna consciousness, of how we should be very, very careful in our execution of Krishna consciousness. So dear devotees, in this today's world, Sri Kuberji is very happy awarding the benediction of remembrance of Krishna to Dhruv Maharaj. A question may come, does that mean Kubera is a pure devotee? Because we can award such remembrance? In Hindi, we have a word called as Ashirvad. Prabhupada has used it in his conversations at times. The word Ashirvad means word of hope. Asha, Asha means hope, and Vad means speech or word. So when a person says, may you be happy, may you live long, may all your obstacles be removed, this is Ashirvad, words of hope. So these words they stir a positive thinking in the recipient of this Ashirvad. And therefore, in family culture, it's a tradition to offer such Ashirvad. So, here Kubera is offering his Ashirvad to Maharaj. That may you remember the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Prabhupada says that we need the blessings and the prayers of everyone around us to attain Krishna prayers. Even the youngest of the youngest devotees, his prayers are also very important so that we can attain Krishna prayers. So, here Guru Maharaj is very focused, very much aligned to his ultimate goal. He is not deviated. He wants to just he just wants to utilize the opportunity to get further benediction. Of course, we know that Dhruva was awarded or rewarded by the Supreme Lord in his childhood. In Dhruva's childhood, he was awarded the spiritual world. After passing time, a few years in the material world, he would get an opportunity to go to the spiritual world. So, as such, Dhruva is giving an exam of whose result Dhruva already knows. He knows that after leaving this body, I'm going to go to the spiritual world. Then what is the need of asking benediction from Kubera? The need is to respect. The need is to get the blessings of everyone. Srila Prabhupada has said this in the purport. A Vaishnava is always respectful to everyone. So, when Kubera offered him a benediction, he did not refuse it. He did not refuse the benediction. He did not say, I already have got a benediction from the Supreme Lord. I don't need anybody else's blessing. That would be too egoistic of Dhruva, right? But Dhruva rather said that, okay, I would like to have your blessing so that I can remember the Supreme Lord at the end of my life. So, he wanted something which would be very favorable to his advancement in Krishna consciousness. To the end of this discussion, I would like to quote this particular verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Akamaha sarva kamova moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajita purusha param. This is from the second canto Srimad Bhagavatam, third chapter, verse number 10. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of all material desires, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. Devotees who worship the Supreme Lord may be categorized into three: those seeking material benediction, those desiring liberation, and those just wanting pure Krishna prema or peace. But whatever the cause may be, a devotee must not leave the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He may initiate his Krishna consciousness from material desires, but gradually as he progresses, he will give up even liberation. Mukti. Actually, many of our preaching is successful because we instill in people the urgency of mukti, the consciousness of mukti, liberation consciousness. And therefore people sometimes come to Krishna consciousness, they get introduced with this. Like when we preach and we say that material world is full of suffering, we need to get out of here. Or the body is a temporary, we need to give up this body at one point of time. Actually, we are arousing their liberation interest. But eventually, a devotee should give up even the desire for liberation and should worship Krishna just for his pleasure. At the extreme of this, Krishna consciousness is this verse, this beautiful verse from Kapil Dev's section which Prabhupada has quoted. Salokya Karchi Samitya, Sarukya Ekatvam Apyuta, Diyamanam na Grananti Gnamasti Gananjanam. Srila Prabhupada has said about this in the purport. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Sarukya Karchi, Samitya, Sarukya Ekatva. There are these 5 kinds of liberation. And a pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why? Why does the devotee not accept them? He does not accept if there is no service concerning the liberation. However, if this liberation is of some use in some service, then the devotee is very, very happy to accept it. As mentioned, what we heard today is how Dhruva Maharaj is, has come up with a second moon in his life on the planet, and this time he has got it from Kubera, but he converted that opportunity for asking remembrance of Lord Krishna, and that is the attitude of a devotee. Devotee does not expect any material gain, does not expect any liberation, does not expect even the highest thing that people may desire in the material world. But what he expects is only service to the Supreme Lord, as mentioned in the last verse. And we quoted examples of demigod worship like Ganesha and Katyayani Devi. And today, of course, we spoke about Kubera in the beginning, of how he is very potent and powerful, and a very, very, very powerful demigod, the father of all the Yakshas comes from Kubera. In the lecture, we get this inspiration from Dhruva Maharaj to remain focused at all times on our goal of attaining the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for tolerating and giving me an opportunity to discuss something from the Srimad Bhagavatham. I would like to open the forum to you. If you have any questions or if you have any comments concerning today's discussion, you can please speak. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Class was so good. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. It's very nicely explained about demigods, the example of Buddha. Very, very nice. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, that was the one.
But,
Maybe explain about like he is like the Krishna is the devotees had Chaitanya worship, right? So like when they had a very clear thought of in this world, like when people have so many gods, people have lost their jobs, have so many gods and things. So if people find a way out to worship the god under the name it is that okay, no, we are also wanting Krishna thing, but we are doing this. So then how we can deal with such people? Under the name of worshiping demigod, they just have that okay, they want material pleasures also, but they will do it under the name of Krishna. So how can that mentality be taken off? Because that is so prominent in many parts, right?
Yeah, so your question is how to help people come out from the quagmire of demigod worship. Actually, Lord Shri Krishna has beautifully spoken about demigod worship in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the 7th chapter, 23rd verse, Antavaktu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam devan deva yajyo yanti mad bhakto yanti mamapi. Krishna says that only people of small intelligence worship the demigod. Why? Because their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigod go to the planet of demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. So by reading the scriptures, one can come to understand the futility of worshipping demigods. So, actually, yes, one has to get association of Shastras, Guru, and Vaishnavas so that it comes to that understanding. However, as we as devotees, what should we do is such people who are hardcore into demigod worship, we should not disturb them. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, very beautifully Krishna says, I think it's in the third chapter, Krishna says that we should not disturb such people, rather engage them in a spirit of devotion. That's a beautiful word Krishna says. So the point is that we should dovetail people's propensity to worship. Like when we go for a preaching program, we generally say that along with whatever you're chanting, you can chant Hare Krishna also. So people don't mind. Most of the demigod worshippers are not so cutthroat or not so ritualistic also. They're not so hardcore, hardline demigod worshippers. They are accommodating. In fact, sometimes Krishna conscious devotees are very, very hardline because we have got Prabhupada purport backing us. But that is not the case with demigod worshippers. They just many times they just have sentiments. So it's very easy, but we can spend reasonable time and find out if they are if we can make them as devotees. As far as our own understanding is concerned, we should read Shastras. By reading these passages from Srimad Bhagavatham, we can understand the futility of demigod worship. We can understand that how demigods themselves are illusioned at times. So that gives us more reasoning to practice Krishna consciousness and to preach it to others, I feel. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Prabhuji, and this happened in the last Friday of the kids class. One of the kids asked us that if Dhruv Maharaj is such a pure devotee and he's already got the benediction of Krishna Prema, then why his getting his own planet was a material benediction which he wanted. So why did Krishna not directly take him to Krishna Loka, to Goloka Vrindavan? Why was he given another planet? And does that mean that Dhruv Maharaj did not go to Goloka Vrindavan? We could not answer that properly, so if you could please explain it.
Could you please just repeat the first part of the question? I missed it.
It is that the kids asked that if Dhruv Maharaj had already got like the Lord's benediction, I mean, like Krishna was already had offered him the Krishna of the Dhruv Loka, why did instead Krishna not take him directly to Krishna Loka or to Golok Vrindavan? Why was he given a different plan? And does that mean that Dhruv Maharaj did not go to Golok Vrindavan?
We have to understand many times through the scriptures that what Krishna does cannot be understood till we are at that level of realization. A beautiful verse I read in the Srimad Bhagavatam today, first canto and the ninth chapter, verse number 12, I feel Bhishma Pitama praying, and Bhishma Pitama is saying a very, very beautiful word, very beautiful. He says, why the Pandavas suffered in spite of Krishna at their side? Why did the Pandavas suffer? The reason Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. The reason is that everything acts according to the cycle of time, and time is an agency to fulfill the desires of Krishna. In the life of devotee, Krishna, the agency of time comes to enact so many pastimes so that some desire of Krishna is fulfilled. In the episode of Dhruv Maharaj, in the episode of Pandavas, if there wouldn't be any drama, if there wouldn't be any ups and downs, we really wouldn't be attracted to reading those pastimes. Like Gaurang Prabhu was giving a lecture, he was saying a very beautiful point. He was saying that for the Christians, there is just one story. Jesus came and liberated all. But for us, the followers of Sanatana Dharma, we have so many stories. We have so many different avatars. We have so many pastimes. Why? To get attracted to. If somebody doesn't like Krishna, he can worship Ram. If somebody doesn't like Ram, he can worship Narasimha, Vaman, Varaha. So much variety is there. So that somewhere we can get hooked on this. So similarly, if Krishna would have, directly cleansed the desire of Dhruva from his heart, then how would the greatness of Krishna Bhakti come out? If Pandavas weren't sent into exile and they just, without desiring Krishna would have given them a bigger kingdom without the fight, then how would the people practicing devotees got an opportunity to get more faith in Krishna's protection? There is certainly some reason because of which Krishna wants to fulfill the pastime. Dhruva is a Sakam Bhakta. He comes in the platform of motivated devotee. So for the people who are Sakam, they need an example from their community. Like it is very traditional in India, if somebody becomes a devotee in an ISKCON center and say that devotee is from Uttar Pradesh, then when eventually he becomes a brahmachari and connects with many people, and the people whom he has been devotees, they discover that he is from Uttar Pradesh and we are also from Uttar Pradesh. There is a sense of bonding because both are from the same place. So they connect better. Likewise, it may be in the US also. When you find out, oh, you are also Maharashtrian, I am also Maharashtrian, oh, you are from South India, where? So that gives us more reason to connect. So most of the people are calm in the material world. And Krishna has put in front of them this example that my Sakam Bhakta gets such a big award. Now why Krishna gives him this spiritual world, which is the Dhruva planet, is certainly because Dhruva wanted that. Initially, Dhruva wanted that. Now, wouldn't it be too much intruding into privacy if Dhruva initially wanted a planet, his original desire, but then later Krishna gave him something in the Golok Dham spiritual world, which maybe was not initially Dhruva's goal. So Krishna is very sensitive, Samvedansheel. He is sure he is trying to fulfill the desire of his devotee. At the same time, see that his spiritual interests are also taken care both ways. Dhruva needed that, and Krishna goes to an extreme extent, to the highest extreme, to show us an example that for my devotee I can also create a spiritual planet if needed. To that extent. So there are 108 reasons why Krishna creates a planet, why Dhruva has a material desire, why Krishna fulfills it, why he drives it out from his heart. There could be many, many reasons. One who is advancing gradually in the shelter of acharyas can understand it much better. That's what I feel as a solution to your question.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Does that answer your?
Yes, Prabhu, yes. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Any other question or any other comment?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very nice class. Very, very nice answers. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
My obeisances. All Krishna, Prabhupada, and all divinities. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So I'll just speak a little bit about Narottam Das Thakur. Today we are celebrating the day of Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya in the line of Vaishnava Sampradaya. You all are aware of Narottam Das Thakur and his contribution in our Krishna consciousness. Because of his contribution, we get to sing so many Vaishnava songs which he has written. So Narottam Das Thakur was born on the bank of Padma River in the village called as Kheturi Gram. Kheturi is in Bangladesh. I happened to visit Bangladesh in 2016 and I got the opportunity to see his birthplace, the palace. That district is called as Rajshahi in today's day and age. So in 1531, he appeared. And as we know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before 1510 years, visited the Kheturi Gram, because 1510, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, went to Jagannath Puri and never came to the eastern side again, Bangladesh. Rather, Mahaprabhu went to South India and to Vrindavan. So prior to 1510, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Thepuri and on a preaching tour actually. And while there, Mahaprabhu predicted by chanting the word Narottam 3 times while taking bath in the Padma river. He said, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. All the devotees accompanying Mahaprabhu were very inquisitive. Who is this Narottam? We don't know anybody Narottam. But this Narottam was not there, but he would be coming. Mahaprabhu told the devotees that he is yet to appear. And appearance of Narottam Das Thakur happened 20-25 years after this incident of Mahaprabhu visiting the Padma river. At that time, Mahaprabhu deposited the Krishna frame in the bank in the Padma river, and which was again offered to Narottam when, as a young boy of 6-7 years, he took his bath in the Padma river. He achieved that Krishna frame through through the Padma river bath, in which Mahaprabhu had deposited the Krishna frame. So from the childhood, Narottam Das Thakur was very, very renounced, and he came from a very royal aristocratic family. And in his home, actually, he had all the opulences of demigods, but he was very renounced and simple in his heart, and from the very beginning, enjoyed hearing pastimes of Gaur Nitai. He heard of the Acharyas, Rupa, Sanatan, and their renunciation, especially Raghunath Goswami. So that made Narottam also feel an urge of renunciation, and therefore, once when he took the bath in the Padma river, he got Krishna frame. His complexion became golden from dark, and then Narottam Das from that time started writing, composing songs. Then he later on went to Vrindavan, as we know, and he started serving Loknath Goswami, who became the spiritual master of Narottam Das Thakur. And Narottam urged Loknath Goswami to give him shelter and initiation, but Loknath Goswami denied several times. And Narottam started serving Loknath Goswami in many ways. He would clean the area where Loknath Goswami would, which Loknath Goswami would use for passing through, and he would clean that area. He would also keep required water and mud or sand, which is required to cleanse oneself, purify oneself after clearing. And then he would also groom the road which led to Yamuna, so that Loknath Goswami wouldn't have to, his feet wouldn't be pricked by the thorns or the pointed stones. So like that, he was serving his spiritual master, although not being initiated. And then later on, Loknath accepted him, and Narottam Das Thakur became an initiated disciple. He became empowered. Later on, he celebrated the famous Khepuri Gram Gaur Purnima festival, from where the Gaur Purnima festival actually begins. And he wanted to install a set of deities of Gaur Nitai. So that was done, and many, many transcendental personalities who had passed away appeared in that event. It was a great tumultuous kirtan. Janma Mataji was leading that kirtan. So like that, Narottam Das Thakur became a very, very big name in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Even the big, big Rajas and Maharajas became his disciples, like that. And like that, Narottam Das Thakur's fame grew far and wide. And towards the end, the story of Narottam Das Thakur's passing away is that once he went to the river to take a bath on the banks of Ganga, and his disciples gave him a water bath while he was standing in Ganga. Suddenly he took 3 dips in Ganga, and the third dip, as he dipped inside, he never ever came out, but only some milk came out, and the disciples had actually circled Narottam Das Thakur to ensure that he was safe from the current of water. But then Narottam Das Thakur was nowhere to be found, and only the milk was collected and a samadhi was given, and it is there in Vrindavan, the Dukha Samadhi in Radha Gokulanand temple. So that is the greatness of Ravindra Thakur. So that is what I wanted to just share today on the occasion of his day. Thank you very much. I hope I have been able to render some service to all of you Vaishnavas, staying far and wide, but connecting through this medium of internet. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Shila Prabhupada, Shila Gurudev Ki Jai. Thank you very much for lecture in class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the Nectarian class, and thank you so much for speaking about Narottam Das Thakur, because today is his appearance day. So I think some devotees has question, and Prabhuji also I want to mention here that your class is going on at the same time on YouTube also. So some devotees are on YouTube, so they might have some questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, as of now, I don't see any questions on YouTube.
Okay.
Shall we hang up?
Yes, Prabhuji. If no one has any question, we can hang up. Please pay your obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyavachya patitanam bhyo Vaishnavyo namo namaha. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatham. Please, Ravindra, Chaitanya, Prabhu,
Jai. This session is no longer being recorded.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Goodbye.